ESPN delivers 2 nights of Major League Baseball action. 8 Eastern on Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. The Tampa Bay Rays take on the Texas Rangers. Then on Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn at 7 Eastern, the Braves take on the Cubs. Major League Baseball on ESPN at ESPN 360 Sunday and Monday. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Watching the Holiday Inn car driven by Clint Boyer be challenged for second spot. As our Holiday Inn race summary tells us, Boyer led through the first caution after starting on the pole. Then after a little pit strategy, Matt Kenseth went out front. He has held the lead since then. And now we have 3 Roush Fenway cars running in the top 3 positions. Boyer left to fight for the 4th spot and 5th positions with Kyle Busch there after again leading the opening segment of the race. Just 1 caution so far, and on the lead lap, 38 of the 43 starters. Our Nationwide Insurance Up to Speed begins in the race leaders pit with Mike Massaro.
And Alan, with 3 Roush Fenway cars up front, that's a little bit different strategy than we've seen from that organization in the past at restrictor plate tracks. In fact, I spoke with Matt Kenseth about their history of hanging back, trying to wait for the big wreck to happen and then making a late charge. I asked him if that was his plan tonight. He just kind of grimaced and said, no, I hate doing that. I want to be up front. I want to put on a show. That's what he's doing right now, Jamie.
Behind him is David Reagan in the 6th car. Now, they qualified second, did not expect to do this well. Now, the funny thing about this car, since 2004, it was a show car on the road for people to look at. Well, they put it into race rotation in 2007. David finished 4th at Talladega and won this year with the car. Continues to surprise. They took right sides only, and that got the track position. Dave?
It's interesting what Mike said about that Roush strategy. Carl Edwards at the beginning of this race reminded his guys, hey, let's play everything safe today, on the track, in the pits, etc. You know, sometimes running up front with all your teammates is the safest place to be. Shannon?
Dave, Kyle Busch started this race 19th, started the run. He was loose and tight. How are you loose and tight? Well, he was loose on the top of the racetrack, tight on the bottom. He came down pit road. He was going to take 2 tires, but because he slid the tires coming into the pit box, it wasn't audible. The balance is definitely coming to Kyle Busch, but he wants to get to the front. He says that is the safest place on this racetrack. Dave?
Justin Allgaier right behind him in that 12 car coming off a corner just like that. Little wiggle right there. His car had been loose off the corners, and so they made an air pressure adjustment for him to try to get him a little more drivability. Now down below him in that 5 car is Dale Earnhardt Jr. His car was tight on that first run. Since then, he's radioed in that he doesn't have enough front grip in that car, and that's causing him not to be able to put it exactly where he wants to. Guys?
What a great action up front. How about the rookie we're talking about, Justin Allgaier? He's come from 31st in that 12 car to 5th, and he has got a rocket.
We were talking about a while ago, Dale and I said he's got a rocket ship if he can hang on to it.
Yeah, he's had that thing hung out and in some spots a few times, but he has a fast race car. Let's see if he's learned enough in his short amount of time running these type of races and these type of cars to know what to do with it.
It's like Kyle Busch is getting a little impatient behind the Roush cars and looking for some help to try to get up and maybe challenge for this lead. I think if you can see Allgaier get there, Kyle Busch will pull up with him.
It's got to be a whole totally different feel. You're talking about Clint Boyer there and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kyle Busch. A different aero package and even not even close to what they run in the Sprint Cup car here tomorrow night.
Yeah, nothing close. And there's a lot of different things you can do as a driver with this package. You know, you can really get a draft pull, and you can really push a lot harder with these things too. You can't run into the back quite as hard because the bumpers don't line up quite as good as they do on the Cup cars, but you can still do a lot of pushing and shoving.
Those Roush cars shuffled Clint Boyer in this 29, but he's making a move back to the front. He cut right in front of Dale Jr. getting into 3 the last lap.
6 wants to stay in line right now. The last time by, he looked out. He's got the 60 behind him, though, so that's 3 Roush cars right there. You're in the sandwich.
That's why I didn't try to go around Kansas here.
10-4.
So although he is outnumbered, Clint Boyer said there's no way I'm going to give up. I just got to catch Kenseth and get back around him.
Pretty strong move right there. He passed Kyle Busch by himself. No help there. This is a fast race car. He pushed a little bit coming out of turn 2 a while ago, and that allowed David Reagan and Carl Edwards and these guys to go by him. But he's fought his way back with no help.
And now he's got some help behind him with Kyle Busch. Maybe they'll try this outside lane here, getting in the corner and try to get by these guys.
They're going to try somewhere because
side to side.
Yeah, David Reagan has gone to the outside to try to get around his teammate Kenseth, and now he'll get some drafting help from Clint Boyer to maybe push him by.
So much of that organized draft up front. I knew they'd get impatient.
So the 6 on the high side and the 16 down low. Remember what happened at Talladega when the 6 got in the back of the 16 and ended up sending Kenseth tumbling side over side? That left some ill will there with a couple of those guys.
Yeah, Kenseth might be glad that he's beside him instead of behind him right now. So.
And David Reagan would go on to win the race there. So here's Kenseth down the low line again, reasserts itself, and Kenseth pulls away by a couple of car lengths.
Yeah, once again, we see that 12 car in the middle of all of this. You can see that 4th car in line on the inside. These guys tried to make that high line work. Clint Boyer had moved up to the 4th spot. Now you see he's falling back as he tried to help David Reagan go up and take the lead, but that didn't work.
So it is Kenseth, Edwards, Kyle Busch, and what about if you're Justin Allgaier and you're riding behind Kyle Busch and in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. as a rookie at Daytona? Kyle Busch has just become the 5th different leader tonight in the Subway Jalapeno 250 here at Daytona. Busch able to make a move on Matt Kenseth, and that slid him back to 5th position. And now the rookie of the 12 car moving in on Kyle Busch to try to see if he can lead his first ever lap at Daytona.
I think Allgaier has every bit as good a car as Kyle Busch, maybe better, and he can learn a lot right here at this point of the race to run right behind him.
Let's update Kyle Busch. Shannon.
Right now, Kyle Busch's car is so loose, but right out front, that's where he likes to be. I told you guys earlier, he feels that that's the safest place on the racetrack here at a restrictor plate track. Speaking about Joe Gibbs Racing, they are so dominant everywhere they go. Something interesting is that once they get past February, the race here in February, they don't do any other work to their restrictor plate program. All of their work, all of their R&D for this track is done before the season. So right now, they're running off of information that they had back in February. Dave?
Justin Allgaier trying to hold down the 2nd position there in that black 12 car. Chad Walter, his crew chief, said, you know, he tends to be more tentative on these tracks in practice and qualifying, but he's smart, so we never really know what he has until the race. Then he comes alive. I guess this, running 2nd, is coming alive. Jamie?
Well, Dave, the guy who was running 2nd is David Reagan. There was a reason why he jumped out of line and went high. He said he was so loose on that bottom line, it was ruining his tires. So he moved up, got out of the draft, got shuffled back. Now he has to just sit and be patient and wait for his teammate, Carl Edwards, who's up behind him in the 60. Mike?
And Jamie, Matt Kenseth had the lead car, but just as was the case during the first run before his first stop, his car continuously got loose on exit, and that's been the case here. After the first stop, they had to make a track bar adjustment. It corrected it temporarily, but he's right back to where he was before that first pit stop, Doc.
And right behind this group, guys that have come from the back of the pack, Michael Waltrip started 30th in the 99 car, and beside him, Brian Vickers started 26th, and they are now running in 9th and 10th position.
Yeah, doing a great job coming up through there. But, Andy, one thing that I'm hearing here that's not characteristic of Daytona in years past is most of the time after you run some laps, the cars really get tight. We hear a lot of these guys talking about going to the loose side.
I know. You see how loose they are. They look out of control, almost all of them. Even the guys that took 4 tires. You're seeing, you know, Matt Kenseth all over the place. And now you got a big race for the lead, or for the 3rd spot right here, 3 wide.
Clint Boyer went underneath the rookie of Allgaier, and now Allgaier is stuck in the middle. He's the meat in the sandwich.